The courageous touched down at the massive Ruhr airport, where we parted ways with the members of Group B. With us safely on the ground, they wasted no time taking to the skies again, ferrying the others west to Ortis. Ruhr was a maze in every direction, but Sharon guided us to Reinford's corporate headquarters without missing a step. This tunnel goes on forever. I can't help but recall trying to navigate Karelia Fortress. I guess when you build with tons of iron and concrete, everything starts to look pretty similar. We're not far from the city center now. You might want to brace yourselves. Ruhr has an even weirder layout than the capital. Hey, that's my hometown you're talking about. But I can't deny it's true. Looks like we're finally out. Whoa. The city extends above and below? Well, Ruhr grew up around steel fabrication and heavy industry. That's how it came to be known as the Empire's industrial metropolis. You were right, it is weird. It's got a population of around 200,000 people too. That's as big as the capital of a smaller country. I feel like the city's gotten even bigger since the last time I was here. The Reinford corporate headquarters is on the upper level, right? That's right. If you'd like to visit, just head up that escalator.
Allow me to welcome you to Ruhr, home of the Reinford Company. I sincerely hope that your field study here will be a fulfilling one.
Welcome to Ruhr. Wow, a moving staircase? Even the capital doesn't have this. What did you say they called again? Escalators? Right, the first one was built in Zeiss. After that, the technicians here decided they'd try to build one too. Guess they just wanted to show off a little, huh? Like kids, I swear. Huh, look at that. What is that? That's an awfully strange shape for a building. Wait, that's not even a building, is it? Nice catch, Reen. That's actually an orbital generator. But it's so big. Ruhr has many factories and industrial facilities that the city uses an enormous amount of orbital energy. Having large generators that send energy where it's needed is more efficient than each factory producing its own energy. That's quite a setup. Technology's really come a long way in such a short time. Whoa. I've seen the building in pictures, but it's even more commanding in person. Guess you wouldn't expect any less from Reinford's corporate headquarters. I couldn't believe my eyes the first time I saw it either. It's a big building, sure, though not as big as Orcus Tower and Crossbow. That's a 40-floor skyscraper, the tallest on the continent now, I think. Oh, that's the tower we could see from Karelia Fortress, right? Yeah, that's where they were holding the trade conference last month. No need to be so modest, Elisa. It's your family's digs. No one's gonna mind if you talk it up a bit. I'm not trying to... Well, shall we go inside? It's just as fancy on the inside. Are these all scale models of machines Reinford makes? Yep, I'll tell you more about them later if you're interested. Lady Elisa. Hello, Dalton. It's good to see you again. Oh, the pleasure's all mine. It's been 6 months since you've been home. I had heard you were attending a military academy on the outskirts of the capital. But it looks like you finally decided to come back and visit the old homestead. Yeah, here I am. Well, we'll be staying for the next 3 days. I see, that's wonderful news. Keep taking good care of her, Stern. I certainly will. Wow, it's one thing to hear about it, but I know what you mean. Kind of brings home the fact that she's a Reinford. Let's just get going, okay? Allow me to show you to the chairman's office. We'll be going up to the 23rd floor. Excuse me, Madam Chairman. I've brought the ladies and gentlemen of Class 7. Bring them in. As you wish. Wow. You can tell the buck stops here. That's one hell of a view.
So it looks like the Courageous's inaugural flyover in Heimdall and Ruhr was a success. But don't release an official statement until tomorrow. Yes, that'll be fine. Yes, I'd like you to begin as soon as possible, and keep a careful eye out for any insider trading. Hello, Irina Reinford speaking. Yes, I understand. Fast-track the construction on the special train if you can. No, pay it no mind. I doubt Crossbell-related shares rising is indicative of a larger market trend. But sell them all early next month. Timing is key here.
Wow. She's like a commander issuing orders across multiple fronts.
Yeah, it's impressive to see Toa do it, but Mrs. Reinford seems to have it down to a science.
She's a general on the battlefield of business.
Ah, right. We all have other matters we need to attend to, so I'll get right to the point. Here.
What?
Thank you.
I've cleared my schedule to dine with you this evening, so anything you wish to discuss can wait until then. I'll leave the rest to you, Sharon.
As you wish, Madam Chairman. When do you expect to return this evening?
I'm planning on 7. Have our guests enjoy a night cruise, if you will.
That sounds splendid. I'll make the necessary arrangements.
That's it? That's all you have to say? I don't care if you ignore me, that's nothing new, but my classmates are here and you're on our board of directors. Would it kill you to show at least a little interest?
Elisa.
Whoa, Elisa, it's okay. You don't need to get worked up for our sake.
Oh, I almost forgot to mention.
Huh?
If you want to return in one piece, I'd suggest you steer clear of the provincial army and the railway military police. The same goes for the Marquis's mansion, though I can't imagine what business would take you there. Use common sense, and don't try to overstep your bounds. That'll be all.
Have a safe trip, Madam Chairman.
Wow, your mom's a real piece of work, Elisa.
The Army only wishes it was that efficient.
She certainly has the mettle to head up an international company like this, to say the least.
See? You see why I didn't want to come back now? You can't tell me that gave you a great impression of her.
I think you're being a little hard on her.
She was looking out for our safety, giving us that advice.
Just forget it. Getting all worked up and storming off in a huff is what she wants me to do, and I'm not going to give her the satisfaction.
Okay.
We'll be back before sundown, Sharon. I'd like you to have the guest rooms and dinner preparations sorted by then. Oh, and see to our luggage, would you?
As you wish. Have a safe trip, everyone.
You know, I'm all in favor of jumping right into our build study tasks, but is it really okay to just dump all our luggage on Sharon? I was wondering the same thing. All our luggage together must have quite a heft. It's Sharon, she'll be fine. Honestly, can you imagine her breaking a sweat carrying suitcases? I can't. You've got a point. She'll probably carry them all in one go. Well, looking after guests does seem to be her specialty. Exactly. Anyway, let's see what kinds of things we've got lined up for us this trip. Alright. I'm looking for a particularly rare sort of metal for my research, but I'm afraid I can't get it myself. If you're willing to help, I'll be in the western part of the upper level of the Ruhr Institute of Technology. I'd like a hand with an experiment that concerns your Arcus units. I will be waiting for you inside the RF store, and I'll tell you more when I see you. A powerful beast has appeared on the Spina byroad. The Nordia Provincial Army hereby requests its extermination. Once the monster is eliminated, please report to the soldiers in front of Marquis Ragner's residence. Ah, huh. Looks like she hit the sweet spot with the challenge factor. Kinda reminds me of Machia's dad. I can't really deny it. I'll bet she's so sure she's got us pegged, she probably thinks we won't be able to finish all of these. But just you watch, we'll finish up every last one before this evening. That'll show her. That's the spirit. Anyway, it's only 11:30 now, so we've got plenty of time before sundown. We definitely got the hang of this whole field study thing by now, so let's show Ruhr some Class 7 spirit. Right! So, this is the Ruhr Institute of Technology. We had a request from someone here. It's a famous university and research institute. Lots of the country's brightest technicians studied here. And a lot of them get scooped up by the Reinford Company after graduation. They've offered George some pretty sweet deals to encourage him to apply after he graduates. Jellica's orbital bike was originally being researched here too. I think George has mentioned that before. Sounds like they got all kinds of cool stuff in development here. What are we waiting for? Let's go on in. Right. Huh, judging by those uniforms, you're all students, aren't you? They look kind of familiar, too. We're students from Thor's Military Academy. Are you the Rato who sent in a request for us? Ah, so you're the student from Thor's. Of course, of course. No wonder your uniform looks so familiar. That's the academy George goes to. To be honest, I'm a bit uneasy about leaving this to you, but you look pretty strong, so hopefully it'll work out. Haha, it figures George would have connections here. Still, gonna go out on a limb and guess that if you're worrying about how we'd clean up in a fight, Must be a dangerous job. Kinda, yeah. Let me explain what I'd like you to do. You've heard of Professor Schmidt, right? The name does sound familiar, yeah. Professor G. Schmidt, I believe. He was one of the leading disciples of Professor Epstein, the father of the Orbital Revolution. He's a really famous scholar in his own right. He followed in Epstein's footsteps, and his work helped popularize orbments. Indeed, he's generally spoken of as something of a living legend. Professor Epstein also had two other famous students, Professor Russell and Professor Hamilton. What's your name? Professor Hamilton. Sorry. Their names tend to crop up together quite often in the orbital sciences. Yeah, I doubt there's a researcher out there who isn't familiar with those three and their work. Besides that though, if I'm remembering right, Professor Schmidt also serves as president of the Ruhr Institute of Technology. Huh, you don't say. I wasn't aware of what he was doing these days. Yeah, he's continuing his research here at the Institute. He can be pretty difficult to deal with at the best of times though, so he doesn't really do public appearances these days. Gotta say, you seem pretty well informed. Is he an acquaintance of yours, Lisa? Not as such, but he's apparently an old friend of my grandfather's. It's because of the orbital technology the professor brought back to the Empire that the Reinford company grew so large. At least that's what I've been told. So that's how the Empire's largest company hit the big time, huh? So, you're Chairman Irina's daughter, huh? Tech must run in the Reinford blood. You might not know, but the professor's been involved with the development of the Arcus units and the orbital staffs, too. Whoa, seriously? I did have a feeling that might be the case. The tech used in the Arcus unit seems more advanced than anything I'd seen in the standard issue battle ordnance made by the Foundation. And it sounds like the only person who could make something like that would be this professor then. Sounds more like a wizard by the minute. The reason I started this little history lesson is because this request comes from Professor Schmidt himself. I worked as one of his assistants, so I put in the request on his behalf. Anyway, I feel like I'm talking your ear off, so let's move on to explaining what it is I'd like you to do. By all means. Okay then, I want you to enter the S iron mine and bring me back a small quantity of a minor metal called linium. What's a minor metal? It's a category of rare metals often used in technological development, but I've never heard of linium. I'm not surprised it's not especially well known, even for a minor metal. However, it's got some exciting potential applications in a new airship engine that's currently in development. That'd be quite the mechanical coup. Kinda makes me think of the Courageous. Oh, it's actually related to that, as chance would have it. In addition to the Reinford Company, both the Foundation and ZCF were involved in the development of the Courageous. Our university is participating too, which has gained us access to all sorts of new technology as a result. Right now, we're working day and night to see if we can push what's possible with an airship engine. Okay, so now we know why you guys want the linium for. But why us? Well, extremely small quantities of linium have been extracted from one of the mine's tunnels. But a few years ago, a dangerous monster started taking up residence right in that very tunnel. In the end, it had to be sealed off before we could obtain a large enough sample to run tests on. That story does sound familiar now I think about it. And if the ore doesn't have any proven applications, it won't be easy to get access, or to get permission to access that tunnel. That's where we stand at present. If the professor were to petition the army, there's a possibility they'd go and secure the necessary sample. But like I said earlier, he's not the easiest man to deal with. He doesn't want to ask anyone for assistance, not even the army. Sounds like a royal pain in the ass. I can't say I'm not concerned about these purported monsters in the mine. But if we can make a contribution to the advancement of science, we might even see linium pop up in textbooks someday. Yeah, I think we should help him out. I do know the mine chief, so if we explain why we want to head into that tunnel, I'm sure he'll let us in. Oh really? That'd be a huge help. Still, it's an older tunnel, and I doubt it's been retrofitted to the most modern safety standards. Make sure you're really careful when you go in there. Of course, precaution is the best kind of caution. That's like so cheesy, even a Boy Scout wouldn't say that. To get to the mine, we'll need to leave town through the eastern exit on the lower level and take the mountain path north. Okay, let's get going. Whoa, this mountain path looks kinda dangerous. Well, at least it's maintained. Good grief, nobody said anything about having to climb a mountain today. I'm already feeling bushed. There's a freight line that goes right to the mine, right? Why can't we just use that? Oh, come on. We're students, not train-hopping vagabonds. Just think of this as another part of our training. Jeez, lighten up a little, you guys. It looks like there's some wildlife on this path that might prove dangerous, so let's be careful as we go. Roger that. Whoa. Unbelievable. Hehe, surprised I take it? Welcome to the Sachin Iron Mine, birthplace of the steel that built the Empire. It's huge. I had no idea something this large was sitting right on the other side of the mountain path. Even from where we're standing now, the structures look like they're tens of arg tall. The cranes and ducts are so massive, it's like they're meant for giants. I guess this must be where that freight line we passed on the way here goes. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. Is this mine managed by the Marquis too? The mine itself is actually owned by House Arnor, which means it's officially under the control of the Imperial family. They decide how much iron is mined, then the ore is processed by Reinford's ironworks and shipped all over the Empire. I see, it's a smart move, in the sense that it prevents a cadre of nobles from holding a monopoly of the iron mined here. It sounds like this place has a history of complicated politics all its own. Well, how about it? Should we head down and see if we can go inside? Yeah, we'll need to tell the mine chief about the researcher's request. You should be able to see the entrance from here. Huh, what's that car? It looks awfully familiar. If I had to guess, it looks like one of the RMP's vehicles we saw in the capital. You're right. What the heck are the railway military police doing all the way out here? Doesn't look like your standard patrol, at least. Only way to find out for sure is to head inside. Well, thank you for your cooperation. If you'll excuse us. Sure, take care on your way out. Looks like the railway military police really are here. But why would they come out to a mine? Who are you kids? What are you doing here? It's great to see you again, Rudolph. Well now, if it isn't little Elisa. It's been ages since I last saw you around here. What brings you... Oh, looks like you brought some friends this time too. Actually, we're... Ah, so you're the group from that military academy. I heard you were scheduled to come, but I guess the date slipped my mind. Sorry to drop in unannounced. Oh, no trouble at all. The doors of S-Mine are always open for little Lisa. Though I suppose you're not so little anymore. You've really grown up since I last saw you. Ah, is that young fellow with the black hair your sweetheart? No, he's not. Of course not. We're just classmates. Yeah, what she said. Reen, is there something you've been keeping from us? I admit, I wasn't expecting you to know the poor man. Well, grandfather brought me here quite a few times when I was young. And the chief was always really nice. You've got some friends in high places. Isn't an iron mine kind of more like a low place? Like a friend in a low place? I got friends in low places like an iron mine. I'm just saying, you know. 'Cause you mine underground, that's low. Anyway, well, Gwyn was always good to us miners. For the chairman of such a huge company, he was always so easy to get along with. I could talk with him like a friend. I know what you mean. Oh, come to think of it, you all go to Thor's, so you must know Angelica Ragnar, right? How's she doing? So you know Angelica too? That I do. She used to work here as a part-timer after all. Say what? A daughter of one of the 4 great houses working in a mine. Yep, she's Marquis Ragnar's daughter. Can't say I know much about her family situation, but she never mentioned it back when she started here, and she picked up the work in no time. Put in a harder day's work than most of our regular miners too. You don't see too many gals out there like her. I can hardly believe it, and yet somehow I can. Well, it sounds just like her. There's nothing normal about Angelica. Every time I got my eyes on a girl, she'll swoop in and have them head over heels for her before I get a chance. She sounds less like a noble by the minute. Ha ha ha! Well, it takes all sorts, doesn't it? Gotta say, I kinda miss those days though. Reinford's current chairman, she's a sharp lady and quite a looker too, but she's none too friendly. Never shows her face around here, and considering how much of a workaholic she is, I don't imagine she ever will. Beg your pardon. Didn't mean to speak badly of your mother, Elisa. Hope you can forgive me. No, it's alright, really. I might be your daughter, but I probably know less about her these days than the company board. Elisa. Oh, by the way, what were the railway military police doing here? Oh, those guys? They've been dropping by quite a bit lately, asking some questions about our operations. Today they were badgering me for all sorts of statistics about how much ore we've been mining. That seems like an odd question, even for the RMP. Why would they have need for information like that? I don't know, but it sounds more than a little fishy. Yeah, I'm not even sure what it was they were trying to figure out. Anyway, I'm guessing that's not the reason you trekked all the way out here. Oh, right. Oops, I can't believe we almost let it slip our mind. Actually, there's something we were hoping you could help us with. Reed explained a request to retrieve an ore sample from the sealed mine shaft on behalf of Professor Schmidt. So that's your business, is it? I did recall a metal like that being found in those old tunnels, but we sealed that shaft off quite a while back because a dangerous monster decided to make the place its haunt. Sounds like you already know that much, though. You really certain you want to head in there? Yeah, that's the plan anyway. We wouldn't normally ask to do this, but it's part of our field study. Monsters on field studies are one of our specialties. Alright then. You all look like you can handle yourselves in a tussle, I'll admit. I suppose you'd be able to hold your own against whatever's in there. This will open the door to the mine shaft. Thank you so much. Ha ha ha, don't mention it. If you keep on this way and head east at the junction, you'll see the entrance to the sealed mine shaft. But it bears repeating, be careful in there. No one's been inside for years now. We will. Alright, let's mosey.